Hi, my name is Silas Haywood, and this is my collage for American literature. The collage is about life as an American after the American Civil War. It ended in 1865, and 1865 to modern day is a very large gap, and there have been a lot of changes in society. My first slide is on African American mistreatment, and this has been constant in the past 158 years since the end of the Civil War. This was not just seen during the Civil War, as the image of slavery shows, because slavery continued on in the South after the end of the Civil War for several decades. In the middle, you'll see Abraham Lincoln, who is credited with freeing all the slaves. Like I said, the South was not so eager to accept his proposal. On the left, you'll see a segregated water fountain where a black man has a separate water fountain from the whites. In the top left, you'll see Rosa Parks, who was a black activist during the Civil Rights Movement. In that picture, she was arrested for sitting in the wrong seat on the bus. And in the top right, you will see the police brutality incident with Rodney King. And that is as recent as 1991, as the timestamp says. The next slide is schooling and education. America values schooling very much. In North Carolina, you are required to go to school until you are 16. After that, you may drop out and go to the workforce if you wish, or you can finish high school, go to college like this graduate in the middle has done, and get your degree. Or you can leave high school at 18 and go to the workforce. It's always up to you in America. On the left, you'll see children pledging their allegiance. This shows that part of being an American is pledging your loyalty, as you learn to do it as young as age 5. On the right, you will see a lockdown drill, and this is representative of the rise of school shootings and the fear that it instills in modern Americans, both children and adults. The workforce options in America are extremely varied. On screen, I have the options of iron worker, which is also representative of most of the blue-collar jobs or regular jobs where you're not required to have any type of degree or diploma. At the bottom, you will see U.S. soldiers. You are required to have a diploma to join any branch of the military, but it is often viewed as a backup plan for most young people. On the right, you'll see an office job. These are typically reserved for those with college degrees, at least basic ones, but not necessarily always. They are typically the go-to job when you think of America and American ideals. At the top, you see Uber. Uber represents all of the gig economy, such as Instacart and DoorDash and Lyft. For these, you do not need any type of education. Typically, you are just required to have a driver's license. This slide shows how much the workforce in America varies. You have options, and if you so choose, you can even become a homeless person and not work at all. But the American ideal is to at least do some kind of work when you get out. This slide, America Divided, shows just how big of a divide there is in modern America. On the left, you see a Black Lives Matter rally, some of which have gotten violent, but this is because there are many minorities in America that feel unseen and underrepresented. At the top right, you will see Martin Luther King giving his I Have a Dream speech. And while it can be argued that this is a time of mass unity, there are also a massive number of people who detested this speech. And this speech was only given in the first place because of the intense divide that was taking place in America at the time. Segregation, racism, police brutality were all rampant at the time. In the bottom right, you will see the Republican and Democrat symbols facing off. In modern America, your political affiliation is one of the first and only things a lot of people will consider about you when they first meet you. This is the last slide, America United. It is very simple. It shows that even though there's all this negative going on in America throughout the years, there are things that have united us, for better or for worse. In the top left, you'll see 4th of July celebration, a massive one at that. It 4th of July on its own is very representative of American ideals because it is celebrating our independence and freedom. At the bottom left, you'll see a space launch. This is something that has always inspired Americans since the 60s when we were having a space race with the Russians. And on the right, you may see everyone in a somber mood because the Twin Towers have just been hit. But at the same time, anyone who was around in 2001 knows that America felt insanely united. And while they did feel united, that had a negative consequence of increased Islamophobia and Muslim and Arab hate in America.